This is Don't Fear Grit with Rob Taormina. Marketing strategies and advertising technologies to help you build a better business.
Welcome back to Don't Fear Grit, the only show on all of the interweb that matters. And today, I'm super pumped about today's show. These topics are something that I live and breathe every single day, and that is social media marketing, video production, video marketing, and social media advertising. This is literally something I've got my finger on the pulse of what's going on because it's something that we do every day at our agency, Talk IQ Media, and we do this on behalf of our clients. So we're studying this a lot. We manage tens of millions of dollars of ads, and we create thousands of pieces of content. So we really know our stuff. So this is a subject I'm super pumped to talk about. And the topic is going to be the top 5. So we've curated some of our best results over the past year. And now there's lots of really great things that you can do to really increase and bump up your game on social media. So we just took 5 of ones that are like our favorites and made it into our top 5 tips for social media marketing online. And these are going to be tactical tips that you guys can apply right away. These are also going to be some psychological things that you can apply to yourself that's really going to enable you to get more out of your social media. So if you're someone who wants to grow that audience, wants a bigger audience who's going to be consuming your content and engaging with your content, increasing those views, those followers, right? These are going to be some really cool things that you can apply right away. And then as a bonus, hopefully you guys are still listening in because this is huge. As a bonus at the very end, I'm going to give you an actual strategy that we do here at my agency, Talk IQ Media. We do this for our clients to increase conversions, but also when I'm called in to audit a client or audit another agency's clients because they're underperforming and they want to know what can we do differently to increase our conversions, increase our reach, impressions. There's a few things right off the bat that I think that I look for and then I apply. Here's one of those things that everyone that I've audited so far, no one does this. And 100% of the time when we've applied this, it works 100% of the time to increase conversion. So I'm going to be unveiling that bonus tip at the very end of today's show. So definitely listen or watch to the end, depending on how you're consuming this. Maybe you're a podcaster and you're listening to this, or you love the video shows and you're watching on YouTube or some other platform. That's fine, but definitely save this to the end because I got an amazing tip for you guys. So it's going to be super cool. Let's get right into today's show. As promised, we're going to be going over the top social media marketing tips for 2022. Now, earlier, I sort of categorized it in 2 ways. One, like tactical things that you can apply right away, but then I also said psychological because there is definitely a psychological component when it comes to social media marketing, and we're going to get into that. And those 2 things do come into play, are factors in determining whether or not you're going to have success with your social media marketing. And for those of you who like marketing is either a scary word or you're like, I'm not a marketer or I don't have a business. Well, listen, if you care about your social media presence, you have to understand the marketing component. So the first thing, and this is why I'm sort of like setting the stage for number 1 that's on our list here. But the first thing we got to talk about is the comfort zone killer. This is the thing that really stops most people dead in their tracks of really having an effective social media marketing presence, is that they're not comfortable with projecting themselves on social media. They're not comfortable with the selfie. They're not comfortable hearing their voice or seeing themselves with video. They're not comfortable. And that prevents them from creating effective marketing content. So that's why we're calling it the comfort zone killer. That's what social media marketing is for a lot of people. So whether or not you are an influencer, a business owner, entrepreneur, or just someone that just cares about, building their internet, their social media presence, you got to really step outside of that comfort zone. Don't let that be a variable. Don't let that be the reason why you're not getting good results. So right now, if you are trying and you feel like you're not getting the results that you want, perhaps the first thing that you really need to sort of self-audit is that comfort zone. Are you stepping outside of your comfort zone? Are you willing to be a little bit risky, doing things that normally you wouldn't do because, I don't know, maybe you're like, oh, well, I don't want people to have the perception that I am conceited or self-absorbed, right? And you have all of these sort of false ideas of what doing social media actually means to the public. It doesn't mean that. Listen, it's 2022, right? We need to get over this hump and understand this is how a lot of people are communicating. This is how a lot of people are consuming information. This is how a lot of people are learning, making purchasing decisions. So you have to be face forward and you have to be really just present in this community, and you're going to have to step outside the comfort zone, right? So that's so important. So what's the first thing is, if you're not getting the results that you want, maybe the first thing that you have to look at is, well, as a business owner, entrepreneur, as an influencer, or someone that wants to grow their audience, are you be honest with yourself, are you honestly stepping outside of your comfort zone and really leveraging all of the resources and all of the opportunities that social media present itself in order for you to get the results that you in fact want? Next up on our list here, and I just realized if you're watching this, I didn't click my timer, so I gotta make sure I click my timer here because we got 2-minute sections for each particular topic. The next one here is perfect versus authentic. There's a lot of people have the discussion of what's more important, what's the order, what determines when you should start, launch, and all that other stuff, right? Here's what I think is most important based on my experience personally with my own content, but also on behalf of my clients. Authenticity wins all of the time. So if the name of the game, if the result that you want is more conversions, more product sales or service sales, you want to build a really great engaged community, authenticity 100% matters and will win over perfection every single time. For a lot of people, perfection is creating an idea, a perception. It's creating a look, a feel. You're sounding differently, because you're trying to make it perfect for the viewing audience. So what you're doing is you're creating content only for what you think the audience really wants. And as an example of why that's not going to really work and why especially social media is not very kind to this. Number one is social media really can sort of weed through all of that nonsense, right? They know the garbage. They know the good stuff. They know the real. They know the fake. So when you are really trying to present yourself in a way that you really are not, you're going to get found out, and it's actually going to be bad for your overall presence, right? Let's look at now how the overall perception of the model market has been over the past 3 or 4 decades, where it has really come to light that Photoshop and photo touching was something that really just took over that particular industry by storm. And they were presenting people in a way that they really did not look like. And number one, that false perception created insecurities in a lot of people. Number two, when it got found out, you know what? Now there's a lack of trust, right? And when you don't have trust, man, you're not going to be able to grow a really great engaged audience. So my suggestion to everyone is, when you're putting pen to paper, when you're with your team and you're constructing your content strategy, make sure that authenticity is leading the way and not perfection. Now, that's not to say to not do your best, right? And not be as professional as possible and offer the best quality that you can. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying let authenticity lead the way. Let's reset this timer for our next topic, which is consider location. I will say that this is probably one of the top three neglected aspects of social media marketing is people are not considering where the piece of content is going when they're producing, storyboarding, or creating the content. They think it's a one size fits all. They create the content once and then they just blast it everywhere. Now, is something better than nothing? As a general rule, yes. However, I strongly recommend, especially if you're going to be leveling up your business, leveling up your life, and expecting different results, well, you need to be intentional then about this particular statement. You need to consider where it's going, because the way that people consume content is actually different platform to platform. The way people consume content on TikTok is different than Instagram, is different than Facebook, is different than Twitter, is different than YouTube, and fill in the blank. Thus, what you are creating needs to accommodate where it's going to be placed, okay? Sometimes that does mean to re-record certain pieces of content for the platform. Other times, it simply means recording it once, maybe reformatting it for different pieces, for different placements, for different platforms, right? But it's something I want you to be aware of. It's so important. Consider where the content is going. That should also play a part in when you are formatting what that content is and how you are going to record it, produce it, design it, right? Very, very important. All right, next up. Next topic here. Stop scripting. Okay. Does a teleprompter help certain individuals? Yeah. Certain people maybe struggle with memorizing certain things. Some people might get overwhelmed, nervous, anxiety about having to recite something, even though they know it in their gut, right? And I get there's reasons why people like to lean on teleprompters, why people like to script everything out, just try to memorize everything and then deliver it. The problem is, and this goes back to something earlier that we said, is it really sort of will impact that authenticity variable. You become so robotic, mechanical, and trying to stick to every single word that you had scripted out, or reading every single word, and you're focused more on the teleprompter than you are on the audience. So my suggestion is get away from the script. And if you're producing content, in order for it to be authentic, you need to be an authority on that subject anyway. And in order to be an authority, you have to be able to speak as though you really know, right? And if you really know about a subject, you should be able to speak on that particular subject with authority, with confidence, and really come across to your audience as someone who is in fact authentic. So you can prepare, do your due diligence, do your research, prepare your notes, have your outline. And if you insist, even write your script. Read it through. Don't memorize it though. Don't memorize it. Put it aside and now really be able to connect with that audience, because otherwise you're sticking and you're connecting with your script instead of what really matters, and that is the people who you are actually speaking to and with. All right, next topic here is... and this is our last top tip before we get into that bonus. Remember, I promised you guys a bonus strategy, and that's going to be right after this one right here. The last one is pay the pros. If you are valuing the, right, in the sense that you know that it is important to grow your audience, you know it is important to increase your conversion rates, you know the value of the social media platforms, right? We've already acknowledged this. Well, then pay the pros. Pay the people whose job it is to know this in and out. And this way, it allows you, it frees you up to focus on what you're good at, right? I've used this phrase so many times, so I'm just going to stick to the same analogy, but it's like the pizza guy who opens up a pizzeria. Why? Because he loves pizza. He loves making pizza, right? He's not a marketer. He doesn't know CRM systems necessarily. So what does he need to do in order to do a really, really good job? Well, know the world, yes, but pay the people who are experts in the other areas that he's not. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. So if you're ready to scale up your life, scale up your business, scale up your influence, scale up your audience, well, then guess what? You got to scale up the other things as well. Now's the time that you need to really outsource to the professionals so that they can nitpick and they can focus on the details of those little things like the production, and you can focus on what you're good at, which is the information and what you're passionate about, your message, and then you deliver it. So don't undervalue that. In fact, I think everyone should change their mindset, and I think you need to start valuing the pros, valuing the technology that really could be a great resource and aid as you grow your social media presence. So that was your top 5. I literally can talk about this forever because there's so many wonderful things that you can apply. And so we just created sort of like 5 of our favorites. And in my sense, it's really 5 things I really felt like can help people right now. So go back, listen to this again, and I'm telling you, when you listen to this particular episode again, and we get to each subject, it's going to trigger another memory and another thought. You're going to be inspired to do something else, and I want to inspire you right now. Take action on that. Right? So sometimes the rubber must meet the road, right? And you just got to put action behind it. And that's this moment right here. So listen to this one more time. It will inspire you for certain things. It'll help you be like, oh, this will relate to this moment, to this aspect, to this piece of content. Oh, I wish I would have applied it to this, right? You'll have those thoughts and those memories. So I want to inspire you right now. Put those to action and apply it immediately, because the results are going to blow your mind. And then it's going to inspire you to grow again, which ultimately is what we're trying to do here, right? Don't fear the hard work. Don't fear that hard work. Embrace it, because what you get out of it is incredible. So, all right, here we go. Here is let me just actually change the screen here. So here is the tactical strategy that we use for all of our clients that we are managing advertising for on social media. Again, this is also something when I'm called in to audit, like another agency, their work, because they're like stuck and they need to be able to scale up their ads. They get to increase their conversion rates. There's a few things I look for right off the bat, and this is one of them. And this is one of the things I'm telling you, I guarantee you, if you apply this, you're going to see better results. And we're going to call that bookends. I call it bookends. You're going to call it bookends as well moving forward. So in your ads, typically what people do is they'll create one video and they will create ad variations with the same video. But the problem is, and this is going to be that light bulb moment for a lot of you guys, that aha moment for a lot of you guys is, remember, I just said they create different ad variations with that one video. And that's the joy and the wonderful benefit of social media marketing, is that you can create different ad variations and to reach different audiences. But the problem with most people is they're acknowledging the benefit of being able to segment audiences and create different ad variations based on those audiences, but they're using the same video content, not realizing that's also an opportunity for you to get more granular and speak directly to those audiences. So what we do is we create what's called bookends, and we've got the meat of the video, which could remain unchanged. In some cases, maybe you could change that as well. But to make it easier, you can keep the meat of your video unchanged and create different bookends for all of those ad variations. So what we'll do is we will film the video ad for the client, and then we will also film ahead of time, because we know what ads and what audiences we're going to be trying to reach. We will film them saying, our clients or the representative for that particular client saying different things on the front end and the back end of this video, hence bookend, right? And now we can create 10 different, 15 different, 20 different video ads using the same video, simply changing the bookend, the front and the back end. And the language of that front and the back end, here's the big tip. You talk directly to the audience that you're targeting. Fill in the blank. You probably already jumped ahead of me and figured out what we're doing here, right? This is something, if you apply to your ads, I guarantee you will increase your conversion rates, because now you're literally talking directly to the person that you're trying to target versus being like crazy general and really just, it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks, right? You don't have to do that. You literally can talk to a person. And that's what you do with videos. So you don't have to create 20 different videos start to finish. No, you create one video and then you record the bookends, which are the small clips on the front and the back end. These are your strong hooks that you're going to hook them in on the front and the back end, right? And you're going to talk directly to the audience. Guys, I can't even believe I'm giving you this secret, this trade secret away. But this is something that we've been doing for a while. It works time and time again. It'll work for you time and time again as well. I would love to hear people who listened to this episode were inspired or they were like, that's amazing, I'm going to apply it. They did, and then they got great results. I want to hear from you guys, because that's what we're trying to do with this community. I personally believe that the tide rises for all ships. That means the success is there for everyone. Once I'm successful, you should be successful as well. So we need to share this stuff together. So I'd love to be encouraged by what you hear, right? I hope I've been an encouragement to you, but I want you also to be encouragement to other people, to explain to them, wow, I listened to this episode, we applied this technique, and it actually worked, because that is an inspiration. I'm telling you, it's going to make you feel good too as well. Tide rises for all ships. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Don't Fear Grit. I love this community. I love the show. I love what we're doing. I can't wait to talk to you guys next time on the show, in the studio, on Don't Fear Grit. Take care.